MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Law enforcement revealing more information about a shooting that claimed the life of a Rocky Mountain College athlete. Coming up, we have new that the victim was simply an innocent victim. And how many bison will be in Yellowstone in the future? The group that decides that met in Chico Hot Springs, and we have the report. And we've seen a lot of campers on Bozeman streets lately, but not one like this. We have the story behind it coming up. Alrighty, it is 6:30 on this Wednesday edition of Montana This Morning. Jay McDonald and Matt Elwell. Matt, how was the trick-or-treating action last night?
It was pretty good overall. Okay. I think we had a fair amount of trick-or-treaters. We still have a lot of candy left over.
Well, I'm sure you're not complaining about that.
I honestly don't eat a ton of candy, but if there's Reese's peanut butter cup, it's probably mine.
It's going to be gone in about 2 minutes.
That's right. Temperatures into the teens and 20s this morning. Slight chill in the air, but it's not cold by any stretch, mainly because we have some clouds overhead, and that's been able to prop up those temperatures a few degrees. Our afternoon should top out into the 40s once again, looking at a lot of melting throughout the afternoon today. We are in the midst of a wetter and slightly below average forecast. We'll talk more about what that means for our forecast heading into the weekend in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, our top story this half hour, new information in an early Saturday shooting that claimed the life of a Rocky Mountain football player. Billings police confirmed the suspects arrested do have ties to local gang activity. And what we know now, the 18-year-old Battling Bear defensive lineman was an innocent party in the deadly shooting. MTN's Jackie Coffin tells us more.
It started over on 15th Street. That's when a fight broke out early Saturday morning, putting 18-year-old Chandler Stalcup in the way of gang violence.
Security camera footage shows it begin, first with a fight and a round of gunshots, though no one was hit. But Billings police say putting together the story of what happened actually starts even earlier, when 18-year-old Chandler Stalcup came to help a friend at a house party.
One of them called our victim for a ride, so the victim was not involved in the original disturbance or the original party. Left what we think is campus or that area to come pick up these other individuals.
Suspects in a separate car then followed Stalcup's car as he was driving away.
And then they ended up catching up to our victim in the 900 block of Poly, thinking that they were involved in the original disturbance, even though he was not. And then there was a shot fired there, and that's when he was hit.
Stalcup was taken to the hospital and later died of his injuries. A 16-year-old Billings boy was arrested for deliberate homicide, and a 17-year-old Billings boy was arrested for accountability of deliberate homicide. And Billings police believe the suspects are tied to a growing problem.
Yeah, it appears that it probably is related to the gang issues that we've seen arise in our community.
Billings Police Lieutenant Matt Lennox says the department is shifting resources internally to focus more on the growing gang problems. It appears two gangs with about 100 members are behind the bulk of the violence.
Right now, we've diverted our resources in our street crimes unit to help mitigate some of these issues. Our detective division is working on all the cases that are associated with these groups. And then our patrol is genuinely just trying to gather information or dealing with calls for service that relate to that.
And working with other agencies like the U.S. Attorney's Office of Montana.
We're seeing increases in gang activity, particularly in the Billings area.
U.S. Attorney for the state of Montana, Jesse Laslovich, says his office is seeing an increase of federal cases related to violent juvenile gang activity.
This is not unique to Montana. It's not unique to Billings. For whatever reason, we are seeing this throughout the country, and a discussion needs to take place, at least at the federal level, about what it is we do.
As law enforcement and courts handle cases hitting close to home for campus and the community. In Billings, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
More to follow on that story as we learn more. Thank you very much, Jackie. Now, a group of state and federal agencies met in the Paradise Valley yesterday to agree on bison management plans for the next year. MTN's John Shear reports that the group disagreed on some issues, but they still managed to come up with a plan.
And that we should not remove more than 25% of the bison herd. and that's done for conservation purposes.
Yellowstone bison biologist Chris Jeremiah says that between hunting, slaughter, and winter kill, about 2,000 of the park's bison died last season. That's why Jeremiah recommends that no more than 1,100 animals be harvested this coming winter.
We recommend looking at the trend in the northern herd and the central herd that you don't harvest or remove animals anywhere but in the northern area around Gardner, Montana.
The group did not set a population goal for park bison, but instead will concentrate on limiting the harvest to that 1,100 number. There are other issues that were kicked down the road, including a disagreement between the state of Montana and the Park Service over vaccinating bison against brucellosis.
We will select an alternative based on, a considerable amount of scientific analysis and feedback from cooperating partners and the public that will guide the record of decision. And in that record of decision, it'll speak specifically about vaccinations or not, and what the plan is for the Park Service moving forward. That will guide what happens here. It's not the other way around.
I would rather keep the language we have and work together to get to what those concrete management actions should be.
Montana Governor Greg Gianforte has warned that legal action could result and questions the need for a bison herd larger than 3,000 animals. That met with strong opposition.
We are disappointed to learn of the state's continued opposition to this process.
I believe that the livestock industry remains as the public enemy #1 of bison.
But some in the crowd supported the governor's positions.
We continue to support a population of YNP bison at a level identified in the record of decision at 3,000 head.
During the lunch break, Park Superintendent Shawley and the Department of Livestock's Honeycutt kept on talking. They're trying to head off a disagreement between the park and the state, which could land each in court. In Paradise Valley, John Shearer, MTN News.
And if you've recently been by the Postman Safety Center on Rouse Avenue, well, you probably saw this, a camper in the parking lot advertising prime downtown camper parking for $25 a month. We spoke with the people who placed the camper here, a brother and sister who say they grew up in Postman, and what's happening with encampments on city streets makes them angry and sad. The display, a protest of the city's handling of the issue. Postman police have asked them to remove the camper. If you're wondering whose phone number that is on the sign, well, that's Mayor Cindy Andrus's phone number. And West Yellowstone is a small town with a big problem. They can't seem to keep a school superintendent. As MTN's Kristen Merkel reports, the last superintendent quit just after a few months on the job.
Last week, the West Yellowstone school superintendent resigned and left town suddenly. I spoke with the former superintendent, parents, and school board chair to find out what happened and how the district is moving forward.
This has me shaken because these people, I don't know, have a lot of power there, I guess, and we were the outsiders.
Former Superintendent Dr. Deborah Fountain left town, then quit on October 23rd. She says after being hired, she soon discovered she had no authority. Then she uncovered what she calls excessive overtime for some district employees.
When they posted the budget and all of our pay stubs, the amounts of the pay were up there, I was looking at that and I thought, wait a minute. The district clerk makes more than my high school principal / athletic director.
Dr. Fountain says she felt that the board and many people in town were retaliating against her for her allegations of inappropriate overtime and other issues she raised.
I got an email from the board saying that they were supporting a complaint of a hostile work environment was filed with possible suspension. So that's clear retaliation. Driving up and down our street, we had people filming with their cameras, with their phones. They were driving up and down our street aggressively filming my family and myself at our rental house.
I I spoke with West Yellowstone resident Jason Howell, who says Dr. Fountain should have gotten more community and school support.
It's tough, and you got to take her for how she feels and her family. And my heart goes out to her. Like I said, for her to pick up and move to West Yellowstone from Louisiana in July or June when they moved, and then to feel the way she did, that she had to leave town, in my mind is unacceptable as a community and as a school.
I reached out to board chair Liz Watt regarding Dr. Fountain's accusations. She responded, quote, "The board is aware of Fountain's allegations relating to employee overtime, and we are reviewing that issue. The board has not retaliated against any employee, nor is the board aware of any violation of the laws governing overtime among its staff at this time." The West Yellowstone School District is hosting a special board meeting Tuesday evening. In West Yellowstone, Kristen Merkel, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Kristen. Now, time to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have the latest forecast for you, all your top headlines, and some ways to make sure you save your money.
I'm John Matteries. Millions of homeowners love vinyl siding because it's affordable and long-lasting. But some of those homeowners are now finding their siding melting. I'll tell you why coming up.
For the